You're about to hear the fantastic Sofia Helin, interviewed by Angie Errigo.
There's a nice welcome to welcome back to London and welcome back to Nordicana, Sofia.
Thank you.
I know everyone wants to talk about the bridge, but I would like to go back a little bit to the beginning because I'm so intrigued that you were doing your degree at university in philosophy, I gather, and then you went to a very prestigious Stockholm Academy. Why acting?
I ask myself every day that question. But I think I've been acting unconsciously since I was a kid. So when I was in university, I mean, it was really interesting with philosophy, but in the end, the way that the universe works with very much rational thinking and so on, it turned me off. I don't know how to describe it in another way. And I remember I sat down on a couch and I tried to recall when I really had a good time, where I could feel, you know, that everything was right in my body. And then I realized, I remember that moment when I realized it was when I acted. Because where I come from, you never, I couldn't never imagine that I could live on acting. So, yeah, that's why. I don't know if that's an answer, but and I think it's probably also because I'm so interested in people, and I thought for many years that I would be a psychologist or something like that, but and in one way it's the same interest with people. That's, yes, please, thank you. That makes me want to act, I think.
Well, understanding what makes Saga tick is a whole story. Now, you obviously did earn a nice living from acting for 10 years before The Bridge came up, and wide-ranging roles, big television in Sweden, big films. You also married, have children, and then this came along. And I understand that you took some persuading, or that you were hesitant because you thought Saga was unlikable. And I wondered what made you like her, and did the creator, Hans Rosenfeld, how did he talk to you about her? How specific was he about her that you could find the key into her?
I think I made the decision to take the part when I met the Hans Rosenfeld and the director and Kim Bodnia, and that all together made me want to do it. And I was, of course, afraid you would compare my Saga to Lisbeth Salander. So, but then Hans Rosenfeld explained to me it was a complete other story, or she's not like Salander at all.
That's for sure. Before we talk in depth about Saga, there is one thing that's really intrigued me, because we see the series with subtitles. Apart from those who are fluent in Swedish and Danish, I have a feeling that we're missing some subtleties about the differences between Swedes and Danes. And I wondered if perhaps the relationship between Saga and Martin reflects a cultural exchange between Sweden and Denmark that we don't pick up on. Is there something that we're missing, do you think?
No.
Good. Okay.
I think, I mean, of course, there are big differences between our countries, but as an actor, I can't act in the name of the whole country. I can only be that part, and Kim or who else is playing against Saga or me can only be his or her part. So it's something that you can add afterwards maybe, or the writer can add when he's constructing the story, but it's nothing that I can use as an actor.
She has such a different way of thinking from most people, and
Yeah.
when the series started, it's never specifically said in the series, but a lot of people identify her as being on that end of the autism scale that's Asperger's, or high functioning, very intelligent clearly, and very focused, but no social skills. I've heard that you're much more of an emotional person than a person of logic. So,
Yeah.
what effect has playing her had on you?
It always takes a while for me to become me again, and I think I have changed because of Saga a bit, and for me, I think it's been good. Because sometimes in life it's very good to be rational.
It's obviously a very good mystery series. There's always a good amount of detecting, and the detective sleuthing skills are considerable, and the twisting labyrinthine search for the killers. But I think it's all the small moments and the personal relationships that have made it so beloved. And the things about the personal conversations between Saga and Martin, and the relationship that develops, that's really so touching. But I think we also envy her. There's all those wonderful bits, like very early on, I think it was the second episode of the first season, the immortal bit where Saga goes to the bar and just says to the guy, "Do you want to come back to my place and have sex?" And he's like, okay. I think we all envy that she has no filters, that she can just come out with whatever is on her mind. Do you envy that?
Yeah, I do. It's both. I mean, she becomes very lonely because she can't be in social situations like others. So I think that makes her very much alone, and I don't envy that at all. But it could be good to be more direct, or just feel what you need to have or do.
I watched it all over again in one go recently, and I noticed a lot of, from the beginning, there's a recurring, she does care what other people think, because sometimes she'll say, "Will he dislike me?" or "Am I annoying you?" She obviously does have some understanding and concern about what it is to love and be loved, and that's very touching.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be alone, of course, and she knows that she's annoying people, so she tries very hard. But now in the third season, she's not trying so hard. She's kind of a bit burned, of course, because she's been let down by Martin.
Well, I think we're all very worried, because at the end of the second series, you're thinking, what is she going to do without her only friend?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able, or can you give us any little hints now about what? We're not going to see the third series until
No, as you
the end
saw
of the year.
here on the teaser trailer, she's not really in balance. As it starts, and it gets worse. So she has a hard time.
Will we ever see Saga laugh?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if she loves, she loves, yes. She loves Martin. She loves
laughter, laughing. We never see her a good belly laugh. A good belly laugh.
No, not now. Not in this season, I think. I must recall, no.
I'll just interrupt for a second to say we will take, although this is strictly not a Q&A, we know you'll be bursting to ask some questions, so there'll be a man over here with the microphone and one up there. So in a little while I'll invite you to participate. So look for the man with the microphone. Meanwhile, I know you get asked, I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but have you seen or are you aware, how aware have you been of the British French and American Mexican adaptation versions of The Bridge?
The thing is, it's not a decision I've made, it's just become that way that I have just seen a couple of minutes from them both. I'm just happy that they've been done and that it's successful and everything. I don't have any opinions about it.
How surprised, were you surprised at the way the show has been embraced abroad?
Of course. It's the biggest success Sweden ever had in television. So, of course, I am surprised.
And what impact has it had on your career?
I suppose it gives me some freedom. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Right. Would anybody like to?
Yeah,
Right,
just
very
feel
hard to see
free
you.
to ask any question you wish.
And where's our man with the
Yeah.
mic? He'll come over to, there we go. Lady in the second row, please, go ahead.
Hi. How much of the series is actually scripted, and how much do you improvise? Because I remember a very good scene which always makes me laugh, is you're going across the bridge and Kim is reliving when his son had died and he's crying and you're in your Porsche, and your reaction was to turn the radio on.
Yeah.
And because you didn't know how to deal with the emotion. So I wondered if it's scripted or do you improvise?
We work very close together, me and the writer, and so it's both. Sometimes it's already written, and sometimes it just pops up when we're there. It's different. Yeah.
How much input do you have, or did you have from the beginning on how things would develop with her?
From the beginning, I had no idea about her past or her future at all. And then Hans and me started working together, and it developed really well. And now I've been very active in the writings of the third season and the second season.
Because it's very gradual that we learn more and more about her history, her personal history, and what a tough time she had, which explains a lot, doesn't it? But
did you get that that was my mother?
no, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
About that?
Mm.
Somehow I thought she would be dead.
No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. There's a man back there. Where's the microphone, please? Or just speak really loud. Why don't you stand up and just speak up?
Hi.
So, obviously, the American Bridge. Right, thank you. Hello.
Hi.
So, the American version of the bridge, in comparison to the Swedish version, obviously had quite limited success. And, you know, all the other versions of the bridge, I think, had limited success compared to the original. And, you know, that's not the same with a lot of spin-offs. Sometimes they surpass their successors. So do you think that the atmosphere and the fact that it was Scandinavian, do you think that enhanced the storyline at all?
No, I think what we did in the beginning, we tried to create a universe of our own. And maybe, and that could have been done anywhere. But the thing is, I know they had an involuntarily period of waiting for half a year before they can start shooting. So they really had a long time to prepare and create this universe. That might be the answer, more time.
I think one of the things that is maybe hard to replicate that is very fascinating about The Bridge is that it's not, strictly speaking, it's much more than a crime drama. It's about, you know, it's about society and social divides, and certainly gives us a glimpse into that culture that is a bit different from the cliches about, you know, the ideal of Scandinavian society, and that everybody in Sweden is blonde and sexy and has a good time all the time.
You think so?
Unless they're in a Henning Mankell story or something. But I think that Scandinavian noir has given us an interesting cultural exchange. It's showing us slices of life that we weren't really attuned to. You agree?
It's hard for me to agree because I don't know what picture you had from the beginning, really. You can't honestly think that we are happy all the time.
But would you agree that this is not, strictly speaking, just crime drama, because it's not just about looking for a killer?
Yeah, that's true.
Is that one of the things that keeps you interested?
Yes, it is, absolutely. I have a really hard time to focus on the crime part of it. I have.
What's it like doing the sequences where you say with the coroner who does the autopsies, and you're being very dispassionate over sliced and diced corpses? Was that difficult?
No. The difficulty about that was I had to learn many difficult words and say them very, very fast. That's hard. But I mean, yes, now I lie, I realize. It was hard to be in that place. That's a horrible place to be in. But the corpse, I mean, it's real people or dolls. So that's not the hard part. But of course it is a hard thought. And everybody has to think it, that this body is not going to be here, or my beloved body is not going to be here in a bit. It's hard.
And how about the sex scenes, which can be quite explicit and graphic? You're married to a clergyman. Do you think, oh, what's my husband going to say?
I used to joke about that. Remember, I'm married to a minister. No, it's not the best part of this job to do sex scene. I'm going to do one on Wednesday. Not looking forward to it.
Have we got another question in the house? Yes, sir, back here. Wait, they'll come to you with the...
Hello. Just wondered whether you would be friends with Saga.
No, I couldn't stand her for half an hour. Yeah?
There was somebody upstairs. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, thank you. Firstly, in Series 2 of The Bridge, there were mentions of English, and was that scripted, or was that a recognition that you had English speakers watching The Bridge, or both? And secondly, is Series 3 going to be the final series? Because if so, I really hope Saga Norén does not end up like Sarah Lund or Martin, either a fugitive or in prison. She deserves a happy ending.
Oh, that's very sweet, sir. But I didn't understand the first question about English. What?
Is the program recognizing that there are English viewers watching it, and it's just recognizing English-speaking admirers of the program? Or was it actually part of the script, necessary to the script?
Did we speak English in the second See?
Yes, you were speaking.
Remember that?
Don't
You were
forget.
reading English books about
Oh.
how to get on with people.
The
but-
relationship book.
Yeah, but you know, in university, in Sweden, you read a lot of English books. So that's nothing uncommon in Sweden to do that. It has nothing to do with you guys, I'm sorry. And the other question was, yeah, she deserves a happy life, I agree. But I think it's hard to be happy with that kind of condition she's in, I think.
There's a gentleman down here. Where's the mic going? Yes. Who was it? Oh, lost it. Go ahead.
Hi, Sofia. Thanks for coming again. I really appreciate you coming, and I'm sure all of us do as well. The question I've got, if this is the final season of the bridge, if there's one prop that you'd like to keep, what would it be?
The Porsche.
The thing is, I don't want to keep anything. I want to live a happy life and have things that makes me think of beautiful things, and I don't want those things in my life, in my private life. So, and the Porsche is so horrible to drive. And I mean, I love her, but no, thank you. I'm sorry, but I'm honest.
Poor Saga.
Yeah.
Yes, upstairs again.
Hiya. I wonder if you could tell me, over in the UK, we don't have a lot of very strong female roles in television, but it seems like what's come out of Scandinavia is full of powerful but flawed female characters. Is that what Swedish and Scandinavian television is like in general, or are we just really lagging behind over here?
You mean if Swedish programs in general have many strong women in
Yeah.
it? I don't know any facts of that, and I don't watch much Swedish television myself. But I know we have a discussion at our BBC SVT. It's called that we got to have more female leading roles on the screen. So it is a problem still. And another big thing and a big global problem is, except from Hillary Clinton, we almost doesn't see any women over 50 on screen or elsewhere either. So yeah, that's sad, and it's a problem.
Thank you.
Have you spoken to Hans about perhaps revisiting Saga at some time in the future?
I have.
It would be interesting to think where Saga would be at, say,
60.
50, 60.
60, Saga. I want to have 6, and she's 60. Could be fantastic.
She'll have to go to a different bar.
Yeah, but maybe she likes younger men still.
Yes. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I like the fact that even when she calls someone who's been her lover, she always says, Saginaar and Malmö County Police.
Yes, yeah.
Never just, hi, it's me. Is that her whole sole identity that she thinks of? Yeah.
Yeah. That's everything she is.
Well, I'm interested to see when she sees her mother, if she describes herself that way to her mother.
Yeah.
Not going to tell me.
Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't have to introduce herself, obviously. She's very afraid of her mother. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to that. It's kind
No.
of, Saga being afraid of somebody is not right.
No.
Yes, sir, in the front row.
One thing I think is really amazing is that when we discuss Scandinavian drama in general, and I think The Bridge in particular, is that we don't talk about the plots, we only talk about the characters. Because somehow the plot is clearly important, but it's the characters that drive the whole thing. And given that you said that you were concerned about playing Saga because she might be found dislikable, I was just wondering what research you did to find behaviours for Saga, and were you ever tempted to make her more likable?
I think I didn't hesitate because I couldn't like her. I hesitated because I couldn't understand how to understand her. Because I love to do people that you dislike. That's so interesting. And what was your question again?
What kind of research did you do? Research
I did some research and I read books and looked at people and with Asperger's, of course. And I met with some people with Asperger's and also went out on the streets trying to act like someone with Asperger's and try to find out how other people would meet you and treat you. So yes.
What was that like, going out in the street? And
the thing is, you become lonely, because this is what puts us together, that we confirm to the other person that, okay, we are communicating. I see you, you see me, I react on what you say. That's so, I mean, it's so big part of a social, I don't know what to call it, but I think you know what I mean. And when you're not with people in that behavior, you become lonely.
have you had people since coming up to you or writing to you who have Asperger's or are family members who relate to Saga?
Yes, quite a lot of people write to me about it, and the most touching, that made me feel proud was a letter from someone who had a mother. She is like Saga is in some ways, and that seeing her made him or her understand his or her mother's better, and that's feels good.
Should do. We got lady in the back. Yes, lady in the back. You're so tiny, I couldn't see you. That's better.
But you said it takes a while to leave Saga when you finished filming. What about when you're on set? I mean, as a viewer, there are so many instances of humour. You know, it's a sad condition in some ways, but we've laughed out loud. You know, the scene in the office when you're just stripping off and not caring. On the set, can you come away from Saga's humorless? I mean, do you have a laugh with your fellow actors? And then switch back into Saga?
All the time. I'd have to. I've been here for 9 months. I would die if I wouldn't laugh sometimes.
Right, there's a man at the very, very back.
I'd just firstly congratulate you on what I think is one of the outstanding performances of recent years on TV. As Saga may have found it difficult with Martin, did the actor who played Martin leave a hole in the team? Was it difficult to reconvene without him?
It was a difficult process, but a necessary one. And as we became very good friends, of course I missed him, but I could also understand it was a good thing for our show. And I think he understands that too.
Are you pointing because there's somebody upstairs?
Yep.
Go ahead. can't see a thing. I do apologize. I can't see a thing.
No, I can't. I
There
just
we are.
see the
There we are.
first
Way
one.
up there. Hi.
Hello. I was just curious because obviously the series serves as a great platform for your international profile. I was wondering that beyond the next series, The Bridge, if you're going to focus on projects within your own territory, or if, like many actors, you're going to move into the UK or US industries as a performer.
I'm open to whatever happens. So we'll see. I have no idea what will happen. I don't know. But I'm open to everything.
If somebody offers you a project or a script, what is it that gets your juices flowing? What's it take to appeal to you?
It's if I start to fantasize or not. And if I do, I want to do it.
About what that life would be like?
Yeah, or what they could do and how I could make it more radical or funny or dark or... Yeah, and as for instance, now I'm doing a scientific sci-fi movie in Denmark, and it's about when our Earth is damaged by salt water because the glaciers, is that called that one?
Yes.
Yeah, glaciers are melted, and when drinking water is like gold, people are getting sick of salt, and that, for instance, made me very interested and made me fantasize.
Are you playing a scientist in it, or are you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
More long words, long difficult speeches, like.
Yeah.
Young man here.
Hi. So what's been your favourite scene to shoot from The Bridge then? Obviously there's that sex scene, but is there anything else that's made you go like, yes? I know you spoke about that last year, about the...
Yeah. It's hard now when you haven't seen the third season.
You can still tell us one to look out for.
Yeah. You saw on the teaser that she throws some things, and you know, yeah. When I could express a little bit of things from her, from inside her. Yeah.
I still love almost the end of the second season, the very last episode, the conversation with Martin when she says, so you think I should talk to you? And she does talk to him. And you think this is a real first, and this is an important moment in her life. This is the first time probably that she's done this. And then he's carted away in handcuffs.
Yeah. It's his own fault.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was his own fault.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not blaming Saga for his tragedy. Yes, ma'am. Hang on, let's get to you. We can't hear you. There we go.
Hello. Does Saga ever regret what she did to Martin?
Yeah, I think so. From some part deep inside of her, but she's not conscious of that. She thinks she did the only thing she could do. It's the rules. No, I know. But everything she is, she's that's everything she is, to follow the law and to make everything right again.
They're like her guide to living, aren't they?
Yeah.
Her manual for how to
Yeah, and I think it's because of her past. She decided at one point that she wanted to do things right again, and this wasn't right. It has to be right.
Sorry, it's me again. Does she ever know if Martin forgives her? Or do we ever hear about Martin again?
That would be telling.
No, she doesn't know if he forgives her. Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, we're going to go upstairs again. I can just see the hand waving.
Hi there. My question was how you approach the character of Saga, because she seems to have two very different sides to her. On the one hand, she drives sports cars and she wears sort of, leather jackets, and she clearly likes sex. She's very unusual in how she approaches men in bars, but she clearly has that desire. And on the other hand, she's very analytical, very clinical, very dispassionate, and very persistent in how she pursues cases. And so I was just wondering how you approached that sort of contradiction in her character, how you bring those two different sides of her character together to create the character of Saga.
But that's a thing that I always look for in a character. What are the contradictions in her life or in her personality? That's something that I find very interesting. I think all of us are in that way, and isn't that so, that what we know we want to do, we don't do, and what we don't want to do, we do, for instance? Isn't that true? It's true when it comes to me, anyway.
Sure.
Did you pick her clothes? Did you pick the wardrobe?
Yeah.
I want that coat.
No, I mean, I didn't buy the clothes. The costume lady bought them, but then we tested many different outfits, and we all agreed on this one.
That look is as iconic as Clint Eastwood in a spaghetti western.
Funny that you mentioned Clint Eastwood. I've been thinking about him a lot.
In what sense?
I don't know why I've been thinking about him so much.
Were you thinking of modeling Saga on him?
Yeah, I don't know, but especially when he's, I don't know.
Well, when he's the man with no name who comes into town, and he's iconic, there's kind of a Saga man with no name parallel, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. And he does what a man's got to do, and she does what she's got to do.
Yeah.
And she looks great in the coat, so. We have somebody upstairs. Yes, the lady in the front up there.
Yeah, hey Saga.
Hey.
I'm an expert from Sweden. I lived 30 years in Sweden, 20 years in Denmark, and now 20 years here in London. And I'm not sure if I like this picture of Denmark and Sweden. There's all these killings. That's not what I remember living in Sweden and Denmark. But anyway, what I want to ask you specifically is if that in Sweden has been any discussion how realistic it is that an autistic person like you can be a police in Sweden.
Of course. They have made I don't know what it's called, but a funny show where they make fun of TV series and films. They made one sketch with, okay, I'm a good police officer, but I would never get into the police school because I have lacks of social skills. So of course she would never get into the school. She would never pass the tests. But then there would not be a series. So.
In real life, she'd be like a private consulting detective, like Sherlock Holmes or Adrian Monk or one of those, wouldn't she? Because she's got the mental skills for detection.
Yeah.
But I'd like to. That's kind of disappointing. I'd like to see a real police officers like Saga in a way.
Yeah, but the thing is, you need to be a team in order to work together. It's so. I talked to a policeman about that, and he said it would be very, very hard to have her.
But they also need to be focused. And
Yeah.
If she's anything, it's focused.
Yeah, and he said that too, that what you are describing is exactly what I need my men to, or women to be like, but because they have a hard time not to be too emotional about things. Yeah.
I'm getting a high sign, so we have a few more opportunities. Gentlemen, right at the very back, let's get a mic to you. Where's she gone? There she is. Could you stand up too so we can see you?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Happy Sweden Day, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. Oh.
On that last point, I am a police detective and I have lots of colleagues who lack social skills, just to reassure you.
Okay.
And on that point, what work did you do to get into the mindset of the police? Was there any technical support that you received?
Yeah, as I said, I met with this police officer and handled, with guns and those technical things. But the truth is, I had such a little time to prepare, so it's been done during the way. Along the way, maybe you say.
I'm excited that you've got a police.
Yeah.
You're safe, it's fine.
But
I think we have time for one more question. We got somebody upstairs? No? Oh, all right. Hang on a sec. I can't hear you upstairs, you see, if we...
If you could choose somebody in history to play the part of, or a period in history, what interests you in, or what person would you like to play?
there is a Swedish, Danish, Norwegian. I think she was Danish from the beginning. Queen Margaret. She made unified Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. It was very long ago, and that would be interesting to see. Yeah, to try to get into her life. What did you say?
Maybe Clint Eastwood can help you with that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
We'll have to arrange an introduction.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're all looking forward to Series 3, which starts here either at the end of the year or the very beginning of the next year. And your science fiction film, do you know when we'll see that?
No, in a year or so.
What is it called in Swedish?
It hasn't. It's Danish. It hasn't got any name yet. But it's actually one from the Arvingarna. It's also a Danish TV series where Trine Dinholm, who was here before, plays also. It's him and me. But I don't know what's going to be called.
Well, we'll look forward to both. And
Yeah.
Sophia, it's been wonderful hearing your insights about Saga, who, as somebody pointed out, is one of the great characters on television in modern times. Thank you so much for your time and for your perspective.
Thank you.